How could smoke weaken an empire? How could addiction defeat ancient China? The answer began before cannons arrived. China once stood powerful and confident. The Qing Empire ruled vast territories. Millions lived beneath imperial authority peacefully. China produced valuable goods desired worldwide. Tea filled European cups every morning. Silk decorated wealthy homes across continents. Porcelain amazed merchants from distant kingdoms. Foreign traders desperately wanted Chinese products. They brought silver to purchase everything. China accepted silver but little else. British merchants watched their wealth disappear. Every shipment increased Britain's trade imbalance. British leaders demanded another profitable solution. They searched across their growing empire. Then they discovered a dangerous answer. Opium promised enormous profits for Britain. The drug grew throughout colonial India. British authorities controlled its production carefully. Merchants transported opium toward Chinese waters. China officially prohibited dangerous opium imports, but profit easily crossed forbidden borders. Smugglers moved beneath darkness and silence. Corrupt officials accepted silver for passage. Hidden boats delivered crates along coastlines. Opium entered Chinese cities every night. At first, many considered opium medicine. Some used it to reduce pain. Others smoked it seeking peaceful escape. The drug offered comfort before demanding. Soon, users needed increasingly larger amounts. Families watched loved ones slowly disappear. Workers lost strength, money, and purpose. Farmers sold possessions to purchase opium. Officials neglected important duties while addicted. The poison entered government offices quietly. China's strength weakened from inside first. Yet no enemy army occupied cities. No foreign cannons destroyed ancient walls. The empire suffered beneath invisible smoke. Silver now flowed outward toward Britain. China's economy began losing precious wealth. Imperial officials delivered alarming reports repeatedly. The emperor learned addiction was spreading. Every report carried greater fear afterward. The Qing court argued about solutions. Some officials demanded stronger enforcement immediately. Others feared confronting powerful foreign merchants. The emperor finally chose decisive action. He needed someone fearless and loyal. One official possessed extraordinary determination already. His name was Commissioner Lin Zexu. Lin believed opium threatened China's survival. He viewed addiction as national destruction. The emperor sent Lin toward Guangzhou. His mission carried enormous political consequences. He would confront merchants and smugglers. He would challenge Britain's profitable trade. He would destroy China's dangerous addiction. But powerful enemies waited beyond oceans. Their ships carried cannons and ambition. Lin approached Guangzhou without fear, and China's greatest confrontation began. Lin arrived in Guangzhou carrying imperial authority. The city immediately sensed approaching change. Merchants feared his reputation for discipline. Smugglers quietly hid their valuable opium. Corrupt officials suddenly avoided public attention. Lin studied reports throughout sleepless nights. Every document revealed deeper national suffering. Addiction had reached countless Chinese communities. Silver continued leaving the weakened empire. Families collapsed beneath growing debts everywhere. Lin believed patience had become dangerous. He ordered immediate investigations across Guangzhou. Soldiers searched warehouses beside crowded harbors. Hidden opium crates were discovered quickly. Smugglers faced arrest beneath imperial law. Corrupt officials lost their powerful positions. Lin demanded foreign merchants surrender everything. British traders refused his demands initially. They feared losing enormous investments overnight. Lin surrounded foreign trading compounds tightly. Supplies became limited inside guarded buildings. Tension spread throughout Guangzhou's crowded streets. Eventually, merchants surrendered their opium stockpiles. Thousands of wooden chests filled warehouses. The confiscated drugs formed enormous mountains. Lin ordered every shipment destroyed completely. Workers carried crates toward coastal fields. Salt water and lime filled massive trenches. Opium dissolved beneath China's watchful eyes. The poisonous trade disappeared into darkness. Crowds celebrated the destruction with hope. Many believed China had finally prevailed, but Britain viewed everything very differently. British merchants demanded compensation for losses. Government leaders defended commercial interests strongly. They called China's actions unacceptable aggression. Profit transformed outrage into political pressure. British newspapers fueled anger across society. Politicians debated sending military forces overseas. Some condemned the immoral opium trade. Others defended Britain's economic interests fiercely. The final decision favored armed intervention. Warships received orders to sail eastward. Soldiers prepared weapons for distant battle. Steam engines powered Britain's growing fleet. Modern cannons waited beneath armored decks. China remained unaware of coming destruction. Lin believed strong laws could protect. He trusted imperial authority and justice. Yet Britain possessed overwhelming military technology. Its ships crossed oceans with confidence. Their cannons reached distant coastal targets. China's defenses relied upon older weapons. Many commanders underestimated foreign capabilities greatly. The Qing court received troubling reports. British warships appeared beyond southern waters. Their dark sails covered distant horizons. Cannons faced China's vulnerable coastline silently. The conflict had moved beyond trade. Opium now became Britain's excuse. China had destroyed a dangerous drug. Britain answered with military force. Two worlds prepared for violent collision. The empire faced an unfamiliar enemy, and the first cannon soon thundered. British warships moved toward China's coastline. Their engines produced unfamiliar mechanical thunder. Dark smoke followed the advancing fleet. Chinese soldiers watched from ancient fortresses. Many had never seen steamships before. The foreign vessels seemed almost unstoppable. British commanders studied every coastal weakness. Their maps revealed vulnerable Chinese ports. Then powerful cannons opened fire suddenly. Explosions shattered the morning's fragile silence. Stone walls collapsed beneath repeated impacts. Chinese defenders answered with older artillery. Their cannonballs often missed distant targets. British ships remained beyond effective range. Technology transformed distance into deadly advantage. Courage could not overcome every disadvantage. Chinese soldiers fought despite overwhelming danger. Some defended burning walls until death. Others carried wounded comrades through smoke. Yet every battle exposed painful weaknesses. The Qing military lacked modern coordination. Commanders received information dangerously slowly. Different regions followed conflicting military orders. Corruption had weakened important defenses beforehand. Funds disappeared before reaching frontline soldiers. Some weapons remained outdated and unreliable. Training varied between distant imperial units. Britain exploited every weakness with precision. Coastal cities fell one after another. Foreign ships controlled important sea routes. Trade ports became military targets overnight. Civilians fled beneath burning skies. Families abandoned homes beside dangerous coastlines. Markets became empty beneath growing fear. The war spread beyond Guangzhou rapidly. British forces attacked strategic northern locations. Their fleet moved along China's rivers. Waterways became pathways toward imperial power. Every captured city increased British demands. Qing officials struggled organizing effective resistance. The emperor received increasingly alarming reports. Each message described another devastating defeat. Inside Beijing, ministers argued desperately. Some demanded immediate peace negotiations. Others insisted China could still win. Pride made painful reality difficult accepting. The empire had ruled for centuries. Many believed ancient strength remained sufficient. But history had changed beyond recognition. Modern industry now shaped military power. Steamships moved faster than traditional fleets. Advanced cannons destroyed distant fortifications. Global trade supported Britain's military reach. China faced industrial power without preparation. The conflict became increasingly impossible, yet resistance continued across coastal provinces. Local soldiers defended villages with determination. Civilians supported troops despite enormous suffering. Still, bravery could not stop warships. The Qing Empire began losing control. Its borders no longer guaranteed safety. Its armies no longer inspired confidence. Its rulers faced an unbearable choice. Surrender meant humiliation before foreign powers. But continued war promised greater destruction. China could no longer stop Britain. Every battle brought greater destruction nationwide. British forces advanced toward strategic cities. The Qing court faced unbearable pressure. Ministers argued through sleepless nights desperately. Some demanded peace before further suffering. Others feared surrender would destroy imperial honor. The emperor understood both choices seemed terrible. Continuing war promised countless additional deaths. Negotiating meant accepting foreign humiliation openly. Britain increased demands after every victory. Its warships threatened China's vital waterways. Important cities faced blockade and invasion. Trade routes became weapons against China. Food supplies grew increasingly difficult transporting. Civilian fear spread beyond coastal regions. Finally, Qing officials requested peace negotiations. British commanders accepted from position strength. The talks offered China little choice. British demands arrived like unavoidable orders. In 1842, negotiations reached their conclusion. The Treaty of Nanjing ended fighting, but peace carried a devastating price. China signed beneath enormous military pressure. The agreement was never truly equal. Britain demanded large financial compensation immediately. China surrendered valuable Hong Kong Island. 5 important ports opened foreign trade. British merchants gained powerful commercial privileges. China lost control over crucial decisions. The empire's proud image collapsed publicly. Foreign powers witnessed China's painful weakness. They understood pressure could bring rewards. Soon other nations demanded similar privileges. China faced growing foreign interference everywhere. Foreign settlements expanded inside major cities. Foreign citizens received special legal protections. Chinese authorities lost power within territories. The empire became divided by unequal agreements. Every concession encouraged another foreign demand. The Opium War changed China forever. Yet the humiliation did not end. Foreign merchants continued selling opium illegally. Addiction remained a terrible national crisis. The Qing government appeared increasingly powerless. Public trust slowly disappeared across China. Rebellions began rising throughout troubled provinces. Farmers blamed officials for widespread suffering. Soldiers questioned loyalty toward imperial rulers. Local leaders challenged weakened Qing authority. The empire faced enemies inside and outside. Its greatest strength became visible weakness. The government struggled controlling distant regions. Corruption consumed resources needed for reform. Military failures destroyed confidence among citizens. The old system could not adapt. China entered a long, painful era. Later generations called it humiliation. The empire remembered every forced concession. It remembered foreign flags above ports. It remembered silver leaving its economy. It remembered opium poisoning countless lives. But another truth remained deeply hidden. China's collapse began before Britain arrived. The empire had already started weakening. Britain defeated China through overwhelming force. But cannons revealed older, hidden weaknesses. The empire had already begun cracking. Opium weakened families throughout countless communities. Addiction consumed strength, wealth, and hope. Corruption poisoned government institutions from within. Officials often protected personal interests first. Military funds disappeared before reaching soldiers. Outdated weapons remained inside neglected arsenals. Commanders underestimated rapidly changing technology. Imperial leaders trusted ancient greatness too deeply. They believed China remained world center. Foreign industrial power changed everything outside. Steamships crossed oceans with frightening speed. Factories produced weapons in enormous quantities. Global trade strengthened distant military empires. China failed adapting before danger arrived. The Opium War exposed every weakness. Britain did not create every problem. It struck an empire already vulnerable. The first defeat encouraged further invasions. Foreign powers demanded greater privileges afterward. China signed more unequal agreements repeatedly. Each treaty weakened imperial authority further. Foreign influence expanded across Chinese cities. Ports became symbols of lost sovereignty. The Qing government struggled restoring public trust. Rebellions erupted throughout suffering provinces. Millions faced hunger, violence, and instability. The empire fought enemies from within. It also faced pressure from abroad. Every crisis deepened another hidden fracture. The Qing dynasty survived despite humiliation. But survival no longer meant true strength. Reformers demanded modern schools and industries. Some leaders wanted stronger modern armies. Others feared abandoning traditional imperial values. China became trapped between conflicting futures. Change seemed dangerous but necessary. Remaining unchanged became equally dangerous. The empire delayed difficult reforms repeatedly. Meanwhile, foreign powers continued advancing rapidly. Decades passed beneath growing national humiliation. Memories of defeat shaped future generations. China remembered every lost battle. It remembered every forced treaty. It remembered every foreign flag. It remembered every family destroyed. The Opium War became more than history. It became a warning about power. Nations can weaken before enemies arrive. Pride can hide dangerous internal decay. Wealth cannot guarantee lasting security. Ancient glory cannot replace adaptation. Strong walls cannot stop changing worlds, and addiction can become national destruction. China eventually began rebuilding its strength. New generations demanded dignity and independence. The wounded nation refused permanent humiliation. Yet history never erased those scars. Smoke had opened China's darkest century. Cannons forced open its borders. But weakness had opened them earlier. China fell because many failures converged. The empire collapsed long before surrender.